Well, our final speaker this evening has been waiting very patiently is Patrick Drake, who's head chef and co-founder of Hellofresh, which is the UK's leading recipe box service. Now, I know Patrick started his career as a lawyer, but his love of food meant that whilst colleagues discussed business deals over lunch, Patrick headed to the fine dining kitchen of the law firm he was working at the time to help out with the chefs. He couldn't keep away. And by night, he'd be changing pinstripes for chef whites in the back of the cab. And eventually, Patrick decided to give up on the rat race and has never looked back. So, ladies and gentlemen, before he plans to escape to the nearest kitchen, please give a very warm welcome to the head chef and co-founder of Hellofresh, Patrick Drake.
Hi guys, I'm really excited to be here. I'm very honoured that the British Library thinks that I have done something interesting enough to talk about as well. There's a lot of stuff that I really want to share with you. I'm going to try and keep it in time, so let's do this. So, it all started off here. Food was always a really, really big priority for me. This is me as a 3-year-old eating my Cornish pasty on the beach, and things never really changed. I mean, back then it was really a case of just a basic need to constantly eat, which actually continues to today, which is why I was just eating a little like energy ball out of my pocket earlier on stage, because I'm always super hungry. But the thing is that I never believed that food could become something that I would do as a business. It was just a hobby. It was something I loved doing, cooking for my family, cooking for my friends. But it wasn't a proper serious job, you know, and I came from a background where I was very much told that you do your time, you do your 9 to 5 for 40 years, you collect a nice little pension at the end, and you should be happy with that, and that's your life. I wasn't going to accept that, but actually, I kind of did accept it at the beginning, and this is what happened. This rather grainy photo is one of the last surviving photos of me as a lawyer. I've tried to expunge as many of them as from the history books and from Google as possible. This one is remaining. Yeah, I know. Well, I felt older at the time as well. This was me as a lawyer. Now, why did I become a lawyer? Because, well, all of the right reasons, really. I wanted to wear suits. And I wanted to have these things called conference calls because they sounded so glamorous. And I remember talking to friends who were already in the city, and they would say things like, "I can't talk now, Patrick, I'm going to a meeting." I'd be like, "Whoa, that sounds like really powerful. I want some of that." So I, for all of those fantastic, like deep heartfelt reasons, I went into being a lawyer. I went to this firm called Clifford Chance in Canary Wharf. But it wasn't really everything it was cracked up to be. I mean, I'd like to say that this photo doesn't represent the reality, but it kind of did. I mean, it just didn't speak to what I wanted to do as a person. There was no creativity in it. It just felt like I wasn't really fulfilling like myself. I had no chance that I would actually fulfill my potential as a human being. I know that sounds grandiose, but I've often been accused of being grandiose. So what did I do? Well, I spent my breakfasts, my lunch times, and my dinners, all of which were in the building, I might add, with my colleagues talking about what would be my escape plan. Every single day we talked about this for years and years and years. Well, one day, I was talking to a friend of mine who happens to live in Los Angeles, and she happens to work at a TV network. And we were just chatting, and I was complaining as usual about this deal I was working on, and I hate my job, and blah, blah. And she said, "Oh yeah, the challenges we've got at the moment, well, one of the things we're trying to look for new concepts for a TV show." And I said, "Well, I've got a funny idea for a cooking show." And she said, "Oh, what's that?" So I told her my idea, and that was that. And that was the end of the conversation. It was just another fantasy. But a week later, she called me up and she said, "Patrick, you won't believe it, but the people at the station here, they love your idea, and they think that we should film a pilot. So why don't you pretend to be the chef, and we'll just do this?" So I'm sitting at my desk doing another revolving credit facility agreement, which is about as interesting as it sounds. And I just thought, you know, what have I got to lose? So I was like, yeah, sod it, let's do this. So I put the phone down, went on the internet, bought myself a flight to Los Angeles for 10 weeks' time, and I thought, right, I've got 10 weeks to become a TV chef, essentially. I can do this. I can totally do this. I've never been on camera in my life, but I know I'm going to practice. It's going to be fine. So I went home and I started practicing. I practiced talking out loud about everything that I did. So if I'm washing up in the kitchen, I'll be like, so the next thing I'm going to do is just put some soap suds on the dish. And the reason why is because I really need to get some bubbles so I can cut through the grease. And my housemate's in the background, he's like, what is Patrick on? Like, he's lost his mind. Because I didn't tell anybody. I was like, I'm adamant that this is the one dream that I've had, that I'm not going to expend all my energy talking about it to people and then just kind of forget about it. I'm going to bottle it all up and I'm going to put all of that energy into actually making it happen, which I think is a very, very good approach to dreams and goals generally. And also because I just thought people